Well, my day is getting underway well. No hiccups as of yet. I was a little sluggish this morning. I just had to bring Ava to school, so it wasn't a big deal. Obviously, had a lot of drives last night. We had our 2 horses. We'll talk about them. And I got a big day today at the Meadows. We have 4 of our horses, 2 stake races, and we have My Name's Swaney and the Maiden, and 3-point blue chip later on in the card. If you're going to ask me, Anthony, who's your best shot today? Wayne's picked to win and probably has a very good shot. I think 3-point blue chip's in a good spot today. An inside post draw and a crew of horses that he's raced against that he's good enough to beat. Looking at his line last week, 55 and a piece, 28. Dave said he was actually coming to them at the wire. So he's advancing on the end of the miles. His morale is up. And I believe that he's probably in a good spot today. And then, of course, we get the 3 tonight, Aunt Lily, Blue Rare, and Highest Honors to watch later on. Now, my next 3 days are not going to be super busy, but they will be long. And what I mean by that is, today I'm going to go to the Meadows, and then directly after the Meadows, I'm going to drive to Ontario. Now, I said before, and I try my hardest to be at all these baseball games. This will likely be the last tournament for him in Ontario. And I want to see him play. So I'm going over to Ontario Thursday, Friday morning, and Friday afternoon. Oliver plays. That's where I'm at on Friday. A lot of people asked, Anthony, you're not going to be at the Meadows and you're not going to be at Scioto. What's going on there? And I did want to be at Scioto, especially for Arrowhead Hanover. But Arrowhead Hanover is not my son. So I am going to go to Ontario. Now, Saturday morning, it's going to be a little busier. I'm looking at the calendar. It's not up. I know that we have time is on my side and a number of other horses that will be racing on Saturday. So I'm going to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to drive to Pennsylvania, race our horses on the Saturday card, and then drive directly back to Ontario. I'll get back to Ontario around 9 o'clock at night. And then hopefully I'll see at least 2 games on Friday. Likely miss a game or 2 on Saturday, but hopefully Ollie's team makes it to the final day, which would be Sunday, and I can watch him play there. So that's the plan for this weekend. Now, this morning I'm off to Northfield. As I said, I'm going to train a couple of horses quick. I'm going to head over to the Meadows. Last night, we bought 3 horses over the last 2 weeks, and all 3 of them were winners in their first start, which is always a good feeling. I told you I thought that Winter Soldier was good, but waiting to get his blood work back. Again, not just us. His GGT is high. And you may say, whoa, you've had him for a bit. He didn't get dropped off until about 5 days before his race. So we didn't have him for a very, very long time. And his GGT was high enough to make me believe that maybe it was a contributing factor long before he arrived at the stable. So we will begin treating him aggressively the same way we have with Uncle Danny and Supermind and Emerald Tom, just to name a few. I need people to understand too, I've had somebody message me and say, Anthony, I've trained horses for 30 years. I've never in my life seen horses with liver problems. That's cool. That's great, but they may not have been very obvious in the blood work, right? It's a little more stringent now. And I can tell you that we've had horses and have been working with various stables in multiple countries and continents for a decade. And I can tell you that this GGT issue, it is an issue everywhere. Both hemispheres, all 3 countries that we raced horses in, every state, every province, every place, every burn that we've been to has had this. And it's not just us, right? This is every burn. So to say, his liver count's high, that could be a million things. All you can do is treat the symptoms and hope that whatever the issue was that caused it clears itself up. Somebody said, did you get your hay tested? Did you get your feed tested? So my easy answer to that is obviously yes. My secondary answer to that is we don't feed the same feed and hay that we do in Ohio, that we do in Pennsylvania or Ontario. Certainly not the horses that were in Australia. So you understand the issue is not necessarily environmental.
Just so you know, it's like a one-way, so just be careful about the traffic.
Yeah, I see it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care. So it's not just an easy, well, here's a pill for your horse's liver. You have to do your best to try and figure out what is causing it, which is almost impossible to do. And secondly, treat it best you can. But that liver count, that GGT, it comes down slow, and it is painful. So Winter Soldier's was up. It was elevated well beyond high normal. So I would say that, and that's the other thing, is that the biggest sign, right? The thing that the indicator that something is going on, and this could be from a number of different things, but definitely GGT, is the horses are kind of lethargic. They don't race the way they usually do, right? They're a little flat, they're a little dead, and that's exactly what we saw with Winter Soldier. I told you, he was good. He was good. Was he awesome? Not really, but he was good, especially for a horse that didn't ever race on a 5/8 or a half before in his life. I would say he was good. That's exactly what the blood alluded to. So, Winter Soldier was a winner. JK Mega was a winner last night and looked very, very good. Raging Hanover was a winner the other day. Another horse looked kind of bumpy and a little soft in the corners, but got the job done. You can't really fault any of the horses. Winners always find a way to win. I say that, right? And those two horses definitely look good. And then last night, JK Mega. So the scouting report on him, not a lot. Scott, I talked to Scott and Yannick afterwards. They both liked him, but didn't really have much to interject as to, well, maybe do this or maybe do that. My initial, I didn't see the horse till last night. I warmed him up. If you were at the track, you watched me go out and warm him up. He made a break finishing up his mile just because I thought his hobbles were a hair long. We pulled them in, changed a little bit of his gear, and went back out and scored him down a quarter again. He was perfect. He did cut his foot last night. So if for the horsemen out there, in between on the top of the foot and in between his ankle and his foot, that pastern area, it's kind of soft in there. There's a lot of stuff going on, and he just kind of skimmed it and cut it. But what happens is it's close to the floor. It's easy to get dirty. It doesn't always heal clean. It can get a little surface infection in it. So in the time we've had, and this has happened hundreds of times in my lifetime with the horses we have. And what I found the best way to fix that, and it's different for every time, is to actually suture it, or in this case, staple it. It heals clean. You don't get that surface infection. And in 5-6 days, you pull those out and there's no problem. And that's exactly what we did with JK Mega. Dr. Katie was doing Lasix last night, came down. We had a great discussion. She said, it will heal. And I'm not a vet. I just said, well, if this was your horse, would you? And she said, yeah, I would staple it. So Dr. Katie did last night. There's not a problem. There won't be any lameness or anything like that from him. He'll be fine. I just thought it was an easier way to clean it up and have it heal cleanly with minimal risk of any sort of surface infection. So JK Mega, not a big deal. Horse was sharp as attack. Just to reference the injury, if you have a horse jump on a quarter, what you look and your suit will have blood. There wasn't one drop of blood on my suit, none. So I mean, it was just very minimal injury, but I wanted to be a little more aggressive with fixing it. Again, it was completely up to Dr. Katie, but my 2 cents at the time would be, geez, do you think we could potentially just suture that or staple it? And she did. So JK Mega, when I scored him out, I just thought his hobbles were a little long. The report I got from Tim, because he shipped to New Jersey, from New Jersey to the Meadows, right? It's a common route. It's harder to get them up to Northfield. So I just asked him to train him. The first day he trained him, he said he trained good. It's not a lot of info in that, but he didn't have a lot to give also. He said he seemed all right to me. I scored him down the second time yesterday before the race, and I knew he was very, very good. We pulled his hobbles in a couple of holes, added a sharper head pole to the inside. He was just getting in a bit. One of our clients, Larry, had said, he just put some steps in that first turn. I think he's a bigger track horse. Guys, I have zero interest in moving a horse over to race at Mohawk or the Meadowlands just because it's a big track and they have great camera work, and it'd be nice to see the horse. I just want to see the horse become the best horse he can, and he will likely get to Mohawk, I would imagine, probably sooner than later. But I was very, very happy with the way he handled a half. Now he's a Pennsylvania bred. He won't see very many half-mile tracks in his life. A 5/8 will be as small as he sees, hopefully next year, if he's a stake horse. But I did see what Scott saw also. A bit of talent there. He's got some pop to him. You know, for a horse that didn't show leaving, made a break in Philadelphia, kind of just followed the crowd for Scotty in the Meadowlands. Snapped right off the car, accelerated into the turn. I let one go because I didn't really care at the time. I let one go and followed him, and he couldn't wait to get the inside. Oh my God, I almost got the pylons again. Did you see him jerk his head? He just went to get into the inside early, and I was close, but I saw it coming, and you could see how I had to maneuver him around the pylons. But once I got him down on the inside, he sprinted the whole passing lane he was into the entire way to the wire, earplugs in, and won the race and looked very, very good in doing that. So really happy with what I saw from JK Mega last night. It's hard to discern, oh my God, the horse is a killer. It's hard to say that. All I can tell you is that, truthfully, if I was to give you a report of what my expectations were going into the race, he exceeded my expectations for sure. Now, we also had Manhattan Money making his first appearance on a half. We forget, because we've had him for 2 years, he's never raced on a half-mile track. I don't think he even went really fast on a half-mile track before. So, with Manhattan Money, how would he be? How would he race? We hooked him out. Actually hooked him in the same spot we did in Tim's bike, and I ended up moving it in just to give him more room in the hobbles. Here's a horse that I think, honestly, went from absolutely needing a ton of weight and hobbles to, geez, I don't think this horse even needs hobbles right now. And I might even race him at some point without them, but man, I was super pleased with the way that horse felt last night. One of our clients messaged me and said, Anthony, I bet you wish you had got this guy first over. Not really. I guess in hindsight, yeah, but not really at the time. I mean, I didn't know how he was handling the track. I wasn't coming first over into the favorite, and quite frankly, Manhattan Money isn't known as a stone cold winner. He's always in the hunt. He's always there. But being a horse that just wins all the time, no, he's not that. No. But I'll tell you what he'll be handy in that class. We're going to make some a few little adjustments with him. We're going to have a lot of fun with him in that class. It's a good spot for him. He was accelerating at the wire, and I was happy with what I saw. So that was last night. Lots of updates today also. We have 7 horses going postward. I'm excited about all of them. I will talk to you all very soon. I hope you're having a great start to your day. I am having a good start to my day. I'm going to train a couple of horses right now and then off to Pennsylvania. So as I said, have a great day. Take care. I will talk to you all very soon.